Nice that you are watching this video. We continue about Taylor Swift's album Lover. Swift initially considered choosing Daylight as the album's title but scrapped the idea because she thought it was too on the nose. She picked Lover as the title because she felt it better represents the overall theme and is more elastic as a concept. Songs such as You Need to Calm Down, which is about LGBT rights, could align with this concept. Colombian photographer and collage artist Valeria Rocha, who worked with Swift on the album's art direction, photographed and edited the album's cover art. The cover depicts Swift with sapphire hair tips and a pink, glittery heart shape on her right eye in front of colorful, pink clouds. Some media commented the artwork evokes the atmosphere of summer and music festivals. Swift used the bright pastel colors of the cover art in her social media posts and clothing during promotion of Lover, departing from the dark, black and white art and aesthetic of Reputation. In an article for Entertainment Weekly, Emma Madden said Lover's cover art looks like a fan-made aesthetic post on Tumblr, and called it part of the emerging trend of kitschy album artwork. By using cover art that deliberately looks like a fan-made product rather than art commissioned from professional graphic designers, Lover brought a level of iconicness and relatability to Swift's audience because, according to Rocha, they could create their own versions of the cover art. Whereas Swift avoided social media and public appearances during promotion of Reputation, she embarked on an extensive promotional campaign for Lover on social media, televised events, and press interviews. Media speculation on Swift's follow-up to Reputation arose when she appeared at the 2019 iHeartRadio Music Awards in March, where she was adorned with butterfly motifs and pastel tones, the aesthetic she later used in her clothing for public appearances. Her social media posts showed her outgoing, comfortable persona, departing from the dark, antagonistic image she adopted for Reputation. Swift conducted interviews with publications including Entertainment Weekly, The Guardian, Vogue, and Rolling Stone, where she openly spoke about her adjusted personal life. A few weeks before the album's release, Swift invited a select group of fans to private secret sessions listening parties in London, Nashville, and Los Angeles. She had hosted similar sessions for 1989 and Reputation. She also gave interviews on the American morning television programs CBS Sunday Morning and Good Morning America, and the talk shows The Ellen DeGeneres Show and The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Swift promoted Lover with corporate tie-ins and promotional deals, including a merchandise deal with Capital One, airplay deals with SiriusXM and iHeartMedia, a deal with YouTube Music with Swift hosting a live stream on the platform, an Amazon deal featuring images of Swift on packaging and an exclusive concert for Amazon Prime users, and a Target Corporation deal to distribute 4 deluxe editions of Lover on CD. The deluxe editions were also available on Swift's website. Each deluxe edition contains a CD with 2 bonus audio memos, a blank journal, a poster and different bonus content of Swift's old journal entries and photos. She also collaborated with the English fashion designer Stella McCartney on a limited edition merchandise collection. Lover was released on both digital and physical formats on August 23, 2019. Through Republic Records, it was her first album after ending her 12-year contract with Big Machine Records, her first released on streaming from its first week, and the first whose master recording she owned. Leading up to the release, Swift was involved in a public dispute over the ownership of her Big Machine Records album's master recordings. In a social media post on June 30, 2019, after Big Machine had been acquired by manager Scooter Braun, Swift accused the label of having neglected her desire to acquire the master recordings and called the deal with Braun, whom she deemed incessant, manipulative, the worst-case scenario. After Lover was released, Swift began implementing her plan to re-record her past albums. Swift performed on many televised shows, starting with a performance of Me with Brendan Urie at the 2019 Billboard Music Awards on May 1. She again performed the song with Urie on The Voice, and alone on Germany's Next Top Model, The Graham Norton Show, and the French version of The Voice. At the 2019 MTV Video Music Awards, where she won 3 awards, Swift opened the show with a medley of You Need to Calm Down and Lover. Swift later performed Lover songs on BBC Radio 1's Live Lounge, Saturday Night Live, NPR Music's Tiny Desk Concert, the Jingle Bell Ball 2019 in London, and iHeartRadio Z100's Jingle Ball in New York City. She also promoted the album on Nippon TV's Sakiri Morning Show in Tokyo, and at the Singles Day Countdown Gala by Alibaba Group in Shanghai. At the 2019 American Music Awards, at which Swift was honored as the Artist of the Decade, she performed a medley of The Man, Lover, and her past singles. On May 17, 2020, ABC aired a concert special titled Taylor Swift, City of Lover, which was filmed at her September 2019 one-off concert in Paris. Swift planned to embark on a worldwide festival and concert tour titled Loverfest, which was due to begin in mid-2020 and included 4 shows in the United States, 10 shows in Europe, and 2 shows in Brazil. 3 singles preceded Lover. Swift released the first, Me, featuring Brendan Urie of Panic, at the Disco, on April 26. Having commissioned a large butterfly mural in a Nashville neighborhood and a social media countdown. The second single, You Need to Calm Down, was released on June 14 after Swift encouraged her fans to call for the passing of the Equality Act on her social media feeds. The media viewed this release as Swift's intention for the release to coincide with Pride Month. The title track was released as the 3rd single on August 16. All 3 singles peaked in the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, and the first 2 peaked at number 2. Me broke the record for the largest single-week jump when it rose from number 100 to number 2 after 1 week. The Archer was released as a promotional single on July 23. A 4th single, The Man, was released on January 27, 2020. After Swift embarked on the Eras Tour in spring 2023, Cruel Summer resurged in popularity and was released to radio on June 13, 2023. As the 5th single from Lover, it topped the Billboard Hot 100. Lover received extensive media coverage. The BBC's Nick Levine wrote, "If it doesn't become her 6th in succession to top the Billboard 200, it would be a major music industry shock." Some publications noted the extensive promotional campaign was old-fashioned compared to the emerging trend of surprise album releases in the digital era. Rolling Stone's Elias Late commented Swift was the last remaining pop star to rely on radio push and corporate tie-ins to promote albums. Her first album released on streaming platforms from the beginning. It was noted in some articles as a sign Swift had abandoned her anti-streaming stance. Because of Swift's Billboard 200 record of having 4 albums sell over 1 million copies each, some journalists debated whether she would achieve the feat the 5th time, and whether streaming would impact its sales figures. Some reviewers said they thought Lover would perform well on charts, even if critical reviews were negative, and that it was also a means for Swift to rebuild her public image after the Reputation controversies, and the dispute with Big Machine and Braun. Kate Nibbs from The Ringer wrote, "As Swift tries to control the narrative, It is a reminder that Swift has achieved an American dream. She's too big to fail. Billboard's Andrew Unterberger. Noting the diverse styles and themes of the 4 songs released prior to Lover, Me, You Need to Calm Down, The Archer, and Lover, said Swift released Lover to focus on her artistic merit on her own terms, and not because she wanted to control her image. In the September 2019 issue of Entertainment Weekly, Maura Johnston commented, although Swift's blurring of the line between the personal and the promotional, and although her social media posts might prompt tabloid gossip, Lover should stand the test of time with its best songs. In mainstream publications, Lover received positive reviews from music critics at review aggregating website Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100 to reviews from mainstream publications. The album received a mean score of 79, which is based on 26 reviews. Most reviewers commended the album's themes of positivity and emotional intimacy. Many critics, including John Caramanica in the New York Times, Neil McCormick in the Daily Telegraph, and Robert Christgau in his Substack published Consumer Guide column, welcomed Lover as Swift's return to form, praised her emotional songwriting ability, and said compared to Reputation's antagonistic themes about celebrity, Lover is a sign of Swift's embracing of forward-looking perspectives. Others such as Michael Wood from the Los Angeles Times and Annie Zaleski from the AV Club commented on its emotional maturity that represents Swift's grown-up perspectives. Praise for the track list's length and diverse musical styles was more reserved. Those complimentary of Lover welcomed its disparate styles as a representation of Swift's creative freedom. Vanity Fair critic Erin Vanderhoof said Lover's production together a lot of the best impulses in recent pop, in a way that feels like a roadmap for survival. Nick Catucci in Rolling Stone called the album evolutionary rather than revolutionary, and appreciated its free and unhurried styles. Others, taking issue with its length, commented although Lover is a solid album, it could have been a better record with some refinements. In The Observer, Kitty Empire deemed this a partial retrenchment until Swift decides what to do next. Paste's Claire Martin was critical, deeming the music unimpressive and the lyrics, despite their heartwarming nature, lacking any profound meaning. Some critics viewed the album as a culmination of Swift's strengths as a singer-songwriter on her past albums, with particular comparisons to Red, 2012, Schwartz and Anna Gacker from Pitchfork also highlighted the personal lyricism that recalls Speak Now, 2010. In The Guardian, Alexis Petridis viewed Lover as a testament to Swift's songwriting abilities, but commented the genre-spanning styles feel like consolidation, not progress, and a conservative effort to maintain her commercial success. Carl Wilson from Slate wrote, although Lover is a sophisticated album, it is held back by Swift's efforts to satisfy her audience. Many publications ranked Lover in their lists of the best albums of 2019. It appeared on the top 10s of lists by Billboard, People, and USA Today. Some publications, including American Songwriter and MTV, included it in their unranked lists. In individual critics' list, the album was ranked within the top 10 by Zaleski, Wood, Sheffield, and Willman, with the last two naming it the best album of 2019. Variety, citing Republic Records, reported Lover sold nearly 1 million copies before its release. In the United States, the album sold around 450,000 copies in its first day, and debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 with a first-week tally of 867,000 album equivalent units, of which 679,000 were pure sales. It is Swift's sixth #1 album and made her the first female artist to have 6 albums sell more than 500,000 copies each in 1 week. In its opening week, Lover outsold all of the other 199 albums on the chart combined, becoming the first album to do so since Swift's Reputation, 2017. All of the album's 18 tracks simultaneously charted on the Billboard Hot 100, breaking the record for the most simultaneous chart entries for a female artist. With Lover, Swift returned to the top of the Billboard Artist 100 chart for a 37th week, extending her all-time record as the longest-running #1 act. By June 2024, the album had spent 250 weeks on the Billboard 200 chart. The Recording Industry Association of America certified Lover Platinum, denoting 1 million album equivalent units. After 4 weeks of release, the only million-selling album of 2019 in the United States, it sold 1.085 million pure copies, both physical and digital, becoming the year's best-selling album. It was the 4th time Swift had the best-selling album of a calendar year in the United States, after Fearless, 2009, 1989, 2014, and Reputation, 2017. Combining singles sales and streaming, Lover sold 2.191 million units throughout the year. The RIAA certified Lover triple platinum in October 2022, and the album surpassed 2 million copies sold in the United States by January 2024, becoming Swift's 10th album to do so. After Swift embarked on the Eras Tour in April 2023, Lover re-entered the top 10 of the Billboard 200. Lover peaked atop the charts in the English-speaking countries including Australia, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and Canada. It made Swift the artist with the most #1 albums of the 2010s decade in Australia, and the first female artist in the same decade to have 4 #1 albums in both the United Kingdom and Ireland. In March 2024, following the Australian dates of the Eras Tour, Lover again topped the chart in Australia. The album was certified 6 times platinum in Australia and New Zealand, and double platinum in the United Kingdom. In continental Europe, Lover reached #1 in Latvia, Lithuania, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, Spain, and Sweden. The album was certified 3 times platinum in Poland, and double platinum in Denmark, and platinum in Austria, Belgium, France, Italy, and Norway. In China, it became the first international album to sell more than 1 million units within its first release week, and made Swift the first international artist to have 3 million selling albums. After 1989 and Reputation, Lover sold more than 3.2 million copies worldwide in 2019, becoming the year's best-selling album by a solo artist and the second overall, behind Japanese group Arashi's greatest hits album 5x20 All the Best, 1999 to 2019. The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry recognized Swift as the Global Recording Artist of 2019, making her the first female artist to twice earn that honor, her first being in 2014. Lover has received various awards and nominations, including Favorite Album of the Year at the People's Choice Awards, Best International Artist at the ARIA Awards, and 2 Album Sales Awards at the BuzzAngle Music Awards. At the 2019 American Music Awards, at which Swift was honored as Artist of the Decade, Lover won Favorite Pop, Rock Album. Winning 4 other awards, Swift was the most awarded artist of the night, and with 29 wins was the most awarded in AMA's history. The music videos for Lover's singles won 4 awards out of 12 nominations at the MTV Video Music Awards. In 2019, You Need to Calm Down won Video of the Year and Video for Good. And Me won Best Visual Effects. And in 2020, The Man won Best Direction. At the 62nd Annual Grammy Awards in 2020, Lover was nominated for Best Pop Vocal Album, which went to When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? By Billie Eilish. Lover's singles, You Need to Calm Down, and Lover, were respectively nominated for Best Pop Solo Performance and Song of the Year. Lover won Pop Album of the Year at the iHeartRadio Music Awards, an award in sales and marketing by the American Advertising Federation in Nashville, and was nominated for Top Billboard 200 Album at the Billboard Music Awards. The album won Album of the Year at the Japan Gold Disc Awards, Best-Selling Album at Hong Kong's RTHK International Pop Poll Awards, and a Music Jacket Creative Award at Japan's CD Shop Awards. In January 2020, Swift released a Netflix documentary titled Miss Americana, which was directed by Lana Wilson. The documentary, which is titled after the album's seventh track, chronicles the creation and promotion of Lover, and discusses it as an evolutionary phase in Swift's career. It also features the Lover outtake, Only the Young. Journalists noted Lover as Swift's final album that was supported by a long, fancy pop album rollout, before she began using surprise album releases, starting with Folklore. Following the cancellation of Loverfest, Swift embarked on the Eras Tour, 2023-2024, as her sixth headlining concert tour. The tour consisted of 10 acts, the first of which is a tribute to Lover. Retrospective critical commentary has discussed ways Lover changed Swift's image and artistry from the antagonistic tone of Reputation. Several publications that ranked Lover as a weaker album in Swift's discography, and deemed it an unnecessary course correction from Reputation included Consequence, Spin, and Entertainment Weekly. The alternative press upheld Swift's mature songwriting but said that the album's free-spirited sound was both its blessing and its curse. Paste deemed Lover a mixed bag, containing some songs that failed to demonstrate Swift's craftsmanship, but said that as a transitional work, it was a perfect inflection point for found herself caught between her defensive Kanye beef era and the shimmering resurrection she'd construct throughout the pandemic. In a USA Today article commemorating Lover's second anniversary, David Oliver and Hannah Yasharoff lamented the cancelled tour and called the album Swift's lost masterpiece that represents her artistic maturity and autonomy. After its songs featured on the Amazon Prime Video series The Summer I Turned Pretty in June 2022, Lover re-entered the Billboard 200 chart's top 40. It's Nice to Have a Friend featured prominently in the promotion of Mthigan, a 2023 horror film. On August 23, 2022, at a Tennessee federal court, the author Teresa Ladart filed a copyright infringement complaint claiming that a number of creative elements of the companion book bundled with the deluxe CD editions of Lover were copied from Dart's 2010 book that is also titled Lover. The pastel aesthetic, a photograph, in a downward pose, and the book's diary format with interspersed photographs and writings. Ladart's lawyer said Swift owed excess of $1 million in damages. In March 2023, Swift's attorneys requested a dismissal, calling Ladart's claims entirely meritless and woefully deficient. On July 27, 2023, Billboard reported that Ladart voluntarily withdrew the case without any settlement. This was the video. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.